Hello Palians! We have just celebrated the brand new Botanical Bliss update, and with that patch came the new flower bloom event. If you're a little bit confused about what this all means, don't worry, as I have you covered in today's video. I'm going to explain everything you need to know, from locations right through to the prizes that you can get. I'll obviously throw in a few tips and tricks as well. Don't forget to like and also subscribe, but let's get these flowers blooming. Of course, we have to start this guide by explaining what exactly the flower bloom event is. This is a dynamic event that happens at a set time in-game every day. We currently already have dynamic events in the game. For example, we have the Flow Tree Groves in Bahari and the Pixie Blossom Bounce in the Elderwood, and this one does follow a similar pattern, but there are a few little changes here. This event will take place in Kilima Village, and the event starts at 12 in-game time every in-game day, so that's noon during the day. It's a little bit refreshing to have an event that actually happens in daytime and not nighttime, so I am here for this. There are 6 random locations where this event can take place, and I'll go over them later, but you will know that you are in the right place because there will be an orange mist floating above the spot before the event begins and during the event. You'll be able to also see lots of sprouts on the ground, and normally there'll probably be a few Palians hanging around as well. Once the event has started, you must pick up the weeds, and then you'll be able to water the sprouts to help them blossom into flowers. When you are picking the flowers, you will notice that you will receive the flowers you've collected, but there is also a chance to obtain some special loot that is associated with this event. This event can be done solo, however, it will take a lot longer. If you have friends or there are others at the event, it does speed up the process immensely. So it is worthwhile shouting it out to everyone and getting as many people there as possible. The Flower Blossom event is open to all players irrespective of your player level, and because of that there isn't really much prep to do or anything specific you need to bring to the event. However, there is one thing you do need and one thing you should do before you attend the event, and that is refill your watering can. Watering the plants will obviously sap the water from your can and you may run out, but if you do forget, remember that you can refill it in any body of water that is not too deep, so don't panic too much. The event ends on your particular server once all of the flowers and items have been collected, and that is pretty much all you do. You make the flowers grow and then you collect them, and then it's over until another day. So that's a brief overview. The next important thing to know is where the event can happen. Unlike some of the other events, the location of the bloom doesn't really reveal itself until kind of a little while before the event begins. And as I said before, there is an orange mist that floats above the area, and I do think that this is more prevalent the further away you are, or at least with my graphic settings it is. But as I said, there are 6 possible locations, and having a rough idea of where they are and the quickest method to get there will help you if you are in a rush. Firstly, we have D6, and this one is on a cliff close to Leafhopper Hills by the fast travel board. So I would recommend fast traveling to this board, especially if you are halfway across the map. Just a bit north of D6 is D5, and this one is on another cliff and it's next to the waterfall area. The quickest way to get to this one is using the Mirror Fields fast travel board. There is also a spot down by the Magi Market entrance on this little island in I-8. This one is a little bit far out, but the nearest travel board is going to be the Whispering Bank. H6 near to Chapel Crossing is another location, and again the nearest fast travel board to this one is the Whispering Bank board. B6 is also another confirmed location. This one is the closest to Leafhopper Hills board, and I like how it's around this little ruin. It's a little bit cute. And the last one is all the way back in Magi's Hollow in I-4. Unfortunately, this one is a trek from all of the fast travel boards, but again, the nearest is probably still the Whispering Banks. If you are in Kilima early because you want to get the most out of the event, I advise waiting on a high point to try and see the signal. Personally, I quite like standing on the area between D6 and D5. There's a few cliffs here so you can get a good vantage point of both areas. The alternate thing you can do is perhaps stand near a travel board and be ready to fast travel through the different areas to have a look at them all, or wait for someone to call it out in chat. This one isn't really like a team player thing to do though, if you just stand by a fast travel board and wait and expect for someone to do all the hard work of running around. But if you are in a rush, then it is a good place to be. It is worth knowing that once you have picked up all of the flowers, that is essentially the event done, as I said. However, this does not stop you from hopping to another server where you can find the event area and then you can still pick the flowers in that server. You don't have to have watered anything or picked any of the weeds. So if you have a friend in Kilima, you'll be able to easily hop between the different servers. And trust me, this is a really good way to kind of get extra flowers. And also, because you're picking so many flowers, you're going to have a higher chance at getting some of those rarer items like the pot recipes, for example. The flowers do begin to despawn around 3:30 in-game time. I think this is based off of when they've first been picked, like we have the cooldown with the other items. I don't think it's an official end time, I believe. However, I could be wrong about that. That's just my initial thoughts with it. But as I said, if you're desperate for these new items and you have a good chunk of time, I think I actually managed to visit 4 different events in one go. So as I say, it's a really good way to get more items. This was mainly because I was lucky and 2 of the events spawned in the same place on a different server. But it is definitely possible to get lots of different events done in one go. So if you are sad about not receiving some of the rewards or it's taking a little bit extra time, definitely give this a try. You will be collecting a lot of flowers here, so if you do want to boost your foraging skill level, then this is a great way to do so. So be sure to have your focus food on hand and you may level up. I know you're going to be like, but Emma, you never have your food up. Yeah, I know. Don't be like me. Get your levels up, guys. When it comes to other dynamic events, as a community, there is normally some form of etiquette for attending them. For example, with the grows, we do kind of tend to wait for everyone. But honestly, I don't think that there is a lot you can do wrong with this one to annoy others. But if you do want to be a good Palian, feel free to shout out the bloom location when you do see it to help others out. You could even flare it as well. But just in the end of it, just be helpful. If you can, water the plants, pick some plants, just do your little bit of contribution. But overall, it is a really good community event. You don't have to be prepared to go in with lots of friends to do it, which is also nice. And finally, you may also want to know what things are actually up for grabs. So the most common drop is the common forageables. The things that I've found most frequently is the sundrop lilies. So if you do need them for like a particular recipe or crafting, then this is a great quick way to get some. But you can also get other things such as spice sprouts and garlic. Then you will also find the flowers. The flowers are kind of a mix between the older varieties that were already available in Kilima from catching the bugs and the new varieties that were added in patch 0.194. There are 10 new varieties of flowers and these are mostly bushes, but they are wonderful and they can come in different color varieties. There's particularly one type that does have a lot of different varieties. It is worth noting that for some of these, once fully grown, the majority will not drop seeds. So the only way to get more of them is from actually attending the event. It is also worth knowing that this is where you obtain the cotton ball flower from that is required for the current bulletin board bundle. I've grown some of the cotton balls and I've actually found that the cotton ball is capable of dropping seeds when it is fully grown. So that's something to remember as well. This is also how you obtain the new planter decor pieces. These ones will randomly drop when you are collecting items. I recommend that once you have been to the event, you head back, you check your crafting table, because when you are picking up a lot of items, sometimes they can get a little bit lost that you've actually unlocked a recipe. And I thought I had only unlocked 2 recipes, but in fact I had unlocked 3, so that was a really nice surprise. There are 9 varieties of the planters, and when they are crafted, you just craft them at normal at your workbench. No further items will unlock with inspiration. I haven't unlocked all of the planters yet, but I have unlocked 3 and I have checked. They are modifiable in your mod bench, which is great news, and the color varieties are really nice. As it was highlighted in the trailer, you can also put the plants in the pots, which is very cute. They all have little snap points within the pots, which makes it easy to do. And I'm very excited to decorate with these now and get my hands on the rest of the planters. This version of the game also added 8 new flower nameplates. 4 of these are currently available through the bulletin board, but they are only for a time-limited event. But you can also obtain some of these variations through the Flower Bloom event. So if you missed out on the bulletin board, you still can get them from this way. I don't think I've made it obvious. I don't know whether the word event also kind of throws people off, but this is a permanent addition. This is not disappearing. It is just the bulletin board that will be rotating, and there'll be new events, new bundles associated with that. And the rarest prize is an elusive new potato pod, which I have yet to see, but hopefully I'll get my hands on it soon. Overall, I think the event is a nice addition to Kilima, and it does give me reason to attend that map again. Let me know in the comments what you think about this event. Do you like it? And do you like the rewards? Enjoy making those flowers bloom, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye!